When dusk falls, imagine a world in darkness. Imagine a world where women go into labor in the gloom of the night. Imagine a world where students use miniature lights to revise their notes. And imagine a world where 30 million people live in total gloom. Now stop imagining. This world is right here in the rural parts of Uganda. A third world country is synonymous with low levels of development. However, it is not that Uganda is poor. Rather, it is because of the limited capability to tap the available resources. Recent statistics from the World Bank indicate that Uganda has grown to a population of 37.5 million. The rural population of Uganda was last reported at over 80% in 2010, according to a World Bank report published in 2012. According to the Rural Electrification Agency, currently only less than 5% of the rural population has electricity service. It is unfortunate to mention that the biggest number of people still live in disproportion of not only the basic necessities, but also needs like electricity. Rural electrification is an integral component of the government's overall policy to promote national economic and social development and integration. It is the government's goal to achieve 22% rural electrification access in the next 10 years. Recently, the Rural Electrification Strategy 2012-2021 was designed to achieve a much faster acceleration of national geographical coverage and consumer access. Unfortunately, the government cannot achieve this single-handedly.
The policy of government is basically on public-private partnerships, where government and the private sector get together to accomplish a certain objective. In this case, government develops infrastructure and then looks for operators. And so in 2009, after in the process of developing these large projects, we're looking out for companies to come in and operate on long-term management and operation. That is holding the position or a lease. And Ferdsult was procured as the best bidder.
After assessing this rural electrification, Ferdsult Engineering Services Limited came on board to supplement the efforts of the government. Ferdsult Engineering Services Limited is a Ugandan company dealing in distribution and sale of power. It started operating in the year 1999 as a trading company.
Within 3 years, we have diversified our portfolio to include electrical contracting, which has enabled us to grow to one of the leading companies in Uganda. Over time, Ferdsult has deemed it necessary to diversify its portfolio as part of its corporate strategy to manage risk. We have since invested into commercial afforestation as part of backward integration contracting, electric pole treatment as part of backward integration to contracting, transformer repair workshop, utility services management or power distribution services in rural areas, fish caging, poultry farming, and ecotourism.
As part of the efforts by the government and private sector to attain rural electrification in Uganda, the Ferdsult Group chose to invest in working towards this goal. In 2007, the company was licensed by the government's Electricity Regulatory Agency to maintain and operate the electricity distribution in selected areas in dire need of electrification for a period of 10 years extendable to 15 years. This electricity is purchased from Uganda's Electricity Transmission Company Limited, or UETCL. The company has since successfully executed several government projects in Uganda funded by different agencies like the Uganda government, World Bank, SIDA, NORAD and JICA. These projects have been done in rural areas including Fort Portal, Bondi Bujo, Rugombe Chenjojo, Bugirina Mayemba, Ketgum Pader Abim, Chenjojo, Katoke, among others.
Our mission is delivering state-of-the-art electrical engineering solution in a timely manner.
The company is fully involved in maintaining and operating rural power distribution as a distribution utility company in different areas of Uganda, including concessionaires. The process of power distribution, right from sourcing of material to connecting the end user, requires extreme determination and substantial investment. On about 2 square miles of land, the Ferdsult Group started planting trees with an eye on protecting the environment and generating poles for extending power lines.
Here at Ferdsult Engineering Services Limited Tree Project, we ensure that our trees hit the maturity, to ensure that we produce good quality trees and good quality timber to the customers.
When the trees mature, they are harvested and then turned into the electricity poles you see every day.
The process of treatment starts from the yard when we receive our poles from the suppliers, and we sort them into different sizes and also measure the moisture content. For those which are ready, we start the trimming. After trimming, they are brought to the railway, stack them into the trolleys by use of a grabber tractor. When we acquire the required number of poles on the trolley, then we push them into the impregnation plant. And at the impregnation plant, we use creosote oil, which we actually heat up to 90 degrees centigrade before we start the treatment. When it acquires that temperature, then we switch on the plant. And the treatment lasts for 4 hours before we remove the poles. And when they are removed, we stack them into the storage facility, which is the stores for poles. And why we do the treatment for these poles, we preserve them from rotting, one, and also from being eaten or attacked by termites.
The Ferdsult pole plants have the capacity to supply any orders ranging from 9 to 20 meters, and these poles are used both locally as well as exported to neighboring countries to extend power lines.
We usually begin with a small budget to cater for site preparations, where our working staff gonna reside, where we're gonna have our sites, where we're gonna have our stores and security for our materials. And thereafter, we go full-scale deployment of workers. We get both skilled and unskilled labor at site, and the following begin taking place. 1, line clearance. We clear the corridor where the line is supposed to go, where it's supposed to pass. Then also do the survey works. We go pegging where the poles are to be erected at particular points. Then thereafter, we begin excavating the pits. After excavating the pits, there we definitely use the skilled labor and non-skilled. That's why we have about 2 linesmen and about 20 casual laborers. Then we begin the process of dropping the poles that are meant to be erected, position them, and thereafter we immediately begin erecting the poles. We erect the poles, make sure they're all in place against the pegs as done by the surveyor, and then we begin dressing up the poles prepare them for receiving the conductors. Once the dressing exercise is all done, stays, insulators and all that, once all that in place and the pole is fully dressed, we begin stringing the wire and putting the conductors. After putting the conductors, that is stringing the conductor, we do the surging, we do the final bits of the surging, and we also put in place the transformer structures, mount the transformers, do them to the right earthings, and thereafter we begin, actually we end the project and do the commissioning of the project.
For a customer who wants to get power connection to his premises, he comes to our offices with a letter of notification from a certified wireman who is supposed to have done the house installation in his premises. He fills in the application form where he indicates the name, the premises, and the type of connection he wants for either domestic, commercial, or in cases where we have the industries. After he has filled in the application form, he pays an inspection fee, a fee which enables the Ferdsult officials move to his premises and do the inspection of the works that the certified wireman has done. If he passes the inspection, then he comes back to our offices and he pays what they call the initial startup energy and the connection fees. These connection fees cater for the materials of the meter, the wire that we're going to use to move the connection from the power pole service to your premises, and the labor that is involved. For someone to know that he has passed the inspection, our officers from Ferdsult Engineering Services, they come to you with what they call a customer test form, and they come to you with a service connection form. On the customer test form, they will fill in the details about the inspection. These are the results that they will give to you to confirm to you that you've passed the inspection or you've failed the inspection. With this service connection form, we shall be able to determine the materials that will be used to connect you. So when you come to our offices and you've paid the capital contribution, which is for the materials that are going to be used, then you'll enter an agreement with the Ferdsult Engineering Services Limited. You'll have to sign an agreement card which shows that you have allowed us to connect our power into your premises. You've accepted to use our power basing on the guidelines that are written behind the agreement form. With this signed, we shall be able to come to your premises and connect you. The process of connection from application to connection and having power lighting into your premises takes a period of less than 7 days.
We use the prepaid meter system in distributing energy to the final consumer.
Ferdsult Engineering Services uses prepaid meters in the selling of energy to the final consumers. What are prepaid meters? Prepaid meters are the meters that will only allow you to use the electricity after paying for it. We have two types of meters. We have the postpaid meters and the prepaid meters. Postpaid meters are the ones that are used mainly in the country by very many people. These are the meters whereby you use the energy and then you're sent a bill at the end of the month. But in all concession areas of Ferdsult, we use prepaid meters. We were actually the pioneers of prepaid meters in Uganda. We started with the smart meters that use smart cards. The smart meters look like this, with the smart cards that look like this. For a consumer to buy energy to use at home using the prepayment system, he has a meter that is unique with its unique card. When they want to reload the energy on their meter, they move with the smart card to our vending stations. At the vending station, this card is inserted into the vending machine, whereby the details of the consumer are read. So for us to reduce onto the distances and the transport costs that the people are incurring in order to load energy onto their meters and have power in their premises, we have come up with a new type of meters that will help us eventually to work with the mobile money services that are currently in the country with the different service providers. We shall also be able to possibly use the bank accounts. You can have standing orders, and you say, I always want, when my energy is getting to every beginning of the month, I always want you to deduct this amount of money and load it onto my meter. These new types of meters have two units with them. First, we have the meter itself, which is inside this box. This meter will be installed outside at the pole, at the service pole. With this unit, it will be communicating wirelessly with the consumer interface unit, which is this that I have here. Now, when you look at this interface unit that will be in the consumer's house, it has a keypad on it with numbers from 1 to 9, including 0. With this system, we shall be using tokens. When a consumer gets to a vending station with his meter number and customer number, they pay an amount of money which will be converted to units of energy. And for the particular units of energy that they have paid for, each of the consumers will get a token. A token will be in form of 3 digits. Now, this token will be unique for each of these meters. Remember, each of our consumers has a different meter number and a unique customer number. With this token that you have been given, you'll move down to your premises, because normally our houses are in a radius of 35 meters from the service pole where we shall be having our meter. And using this machine, the consumer interface unit, you'll be able to input the units or the numbers on the token that you've received, and it will be able to load your energy.
At Ferdsult, our joy is derived from the joy of our customers. To serve our customers better, we also have amongst our facilities a transformer repair workshop.
Transformers from 25 kVA to 1000 kVA. If at all a transformer has blown, you can choose a transformer from here. We test it, we do null on null. We can test it using null load tests. We put in our systems there. We test the ratios. After we open the transformer, we cross check the coils, the blown ones. Check the ratios first. We remove the transformer from the tank. We wait until it leaks down. Then we open the brown coils. We calculate the ratios, voltages. We first check the conduct of the wire, type of the oil, and then we consider insulation. We measure we remove the coils to the limbs. We clean the rims. After cleaning the limbs, we tape them using our tape. We cut papers, we cut mimi, we put mimi. We reassemble the transformer using cores, wires. We braze. After brazing, we put the transformer in the heater for 7 days. Thereafter, it is ready. We put back to the ratio tester. We put back to the ratio stuffs like pressure, no load pressure, and the LV phases, single phase. We short circuit. The transformer is done. After dry, we put back to the tank. We replace with new oil. After 2 days, we test pressure. So basically, in our workshop, we can repair all sorts of transformers from all over the world, from 25 kVA to at least 1,500 kilovolts.
We have 3 concession areas that we are operating currently. We have Chibale concession area, we have Kanungu concession area, and we have the Masakai Sinjiro concession area. Currently, we have close to 10,000 consumers, most of which are domestic consumers because we operate in the rural areas of the southwestern part of Uganda.
In Chitwe village, in Tungamo district, one of the areas that has greatly benefited in Ferdsult services, the company is a savior of sorts.
Before Ferdsult came here, we were unable to enjoy various services, and we would use generators, of course, which are so expensive. But we had a problem of light and the other services. We were very happy. For instance, I wouldn't enjoy my TV, but now I am comfortable enjoying it. I had to buy the DSTV because I was interested in enjoying even outside things. But at least now I am able to watch the TV.
The local leaders in Chitwe have expressed satisfaction with the work done by Ferdsult in extending hydroelectricity to the once gloomy rural centre. Turyatemba, the LC1 chairman, says there have been promises by different service providers to bring power to the area, but never fulfilled. He hails Ferdsult for delivering on its promises.
Ferdsult Engineering Company Limited the town age originally the 20 kwezi abanyuma kushaba kwituna ngo kwetega kwa kwantu kakuri kwenda amashanyarazi kuba katine byentunguka na munonge bikubaho amashanyarazi so ahanyuma ya Ferdsult twija nangu mukutandika itu tukatugigayire akatwantuma ngo cy'amashanyarazi n'ikiroto nabanyuma bajya twalene bakuma matine mudautu abo kuba buri zo aberajanka nkaba betsimbe bamwe batiyonga haramashe amashanyarazi turahandi batagatungire tumayanga imyanya ndijo bakata muri bukondo tubatunga amashanyarazi konka Ferdsult kozo mu mahanga akakayizire yatandika kandi amashanyarazi yagata.
The excitement of the locals from the activities of the Ferdsult Group is echoed by the government, which is pleased by what the largest rural electrifier has done so far. The Rural Electrification Agency has commended the work done by Ferdsult in lighting up the biggest part of rural Uganda.
Over the time that we have been with them, I think we are glad that despite the difficulties of commercial, low commercial viability, they've been able to keep moving, and with new mechanism of subsidizing connections, they can be able to definitely, they can only become stronger.
Ferdsult Group also deals in poultry farming, fish farming and ecotourism, through which we provide jobs to 100 full-time and over 500 casual employees.
Oli mukumi era muyambi muntalo n'ataasa enjala n'akuma nkuba n'abika ekyeya n'atubika Katonda waffe